I couldn't score consistently on FC24. One game, I'd score 4 goals, then the next, I'd score 0. And I wondered, what can I do to ensure I have reliable methods to score on FC24? So I decided to watch some of the top pros on FC24 to find out what they are doing and how I can implement their attacking skills into my game. Here's what I learned. Pro players on FC24, when they receive the ball, they do one simple thing that so many of us, including me, do wrong. They take the touch away from the opponent. Instead of receiving the ball and taking the touch directly into the defender, they take that touch away. The only time they will take the touch towards the opponent is when they have the space to quickly enter a skill move, which is something I'll touch on later. I did also notice something else though. They use the R1 right stick flick, RB right stick, on first touches at times to take a bigger touch and immediately then get into a sprint. This is something I have adapted into my game. I also looked at their attacking runs and I saw so many people have just options available. It was like they had a pass on all of the time. This is where they are using the L1 LB button to create runs themselves, not relying on custom tactics or AI movement alone. And then they also combine this with creative runs and player lock. The creative runs feature was an absolute game changer for me, as it meant I could angle runs instead of the player just running on a straight line. To do this, you have to tap L1 LB to trigger a runner and then quickly flick the right stick in a direction that you want the player to run. Then the player lock tool feature was something I eventually started using pretty much in every attack. This one I found a little bit more advanced and took a bit more time to practice, but eventually I saw how OP it was. Pressing both analog sticks in and then changing to the player that I wanted to make that run manually. Simply then asking for the ball with whatever pass selection that I wanted. But something I learned from FC24 pro player Gorilla was to fake the player lock. He would drive down the byline, player lock, and then switch back to the player on the ball to carry on the drive. This duped out the opponent so many times and got me so many goals. The way he would cancel the player lock is simply by pressing both analog sticks back in to go back to the player that was on the ball. But it wasn't all about attack, attack, attack. After watching Nicholas99, I realized that if he didn't like the look of an attack, he would simply recycle, with the aim to work a better opportunity. Before, every attack that I did either resulted in me trying to create a chance or just simply losing the ball, not really having much thought in what I was doing. I never really thought about whether I was outnumbered, if I had a good chance to get a clean strike on goal, or anything like that. So if I didn't like the look of an opportunity, I started to adapt Nicholas's technique of maybe going back to the fullback, your centre mids, or just taking a little bit more time to work a better opportunity. What this resulted in was me having the ball a little bit more and crafting chances that gave me a much higher percentage chance of scoring. However, sometimes I just needed a little bit of extra flair inside the 18-yard box to dance off that last opponent. And this is where left stick dribbling and skill moves needed to come into my game. I had to get better at beating a defender when I needed, be it with dribbling or skills. And one of the best players with the ball at their feet is Tex. So I spent some time watching what he does on the sticks. I saw small, intricate movements with the left stick, turning left and right to avoid challenges. Then to send the defenders to the shops, there were shot cancels where he would shoot, wait for the animation to start, and then hold both of the trigger buttons to cancel the shot. And this was great. I sent so many defenders with these shot cancels to work extra space and better angles. The Elastico and the reverse Elastico were also being used a lot by Tex, but mainly when the player was stood still. So I spent some time in the arena trying to practice in that. rotating my stick 180 degrees from left to right for a reverse elastico, and then right to left for a normal elastico. And a more simple skill that I saw Anders doing was Stepovers. It is a simple skill move, but when it's executed to perfection, it can be great. I did notice one big thing though. They only really worked with quick players with the quick step playstyle. They were nowhere near as effective with normal players without them. So for now, that's a skill move that I'm a little bit more reserved on. Ultimately though, the thing I needed to fix the most was my finishing. I can work all the chances in the world, but if I don't score, I won't win games. So I started to use precision shooting. It's a new tool in FC 24, which means where I aim is where the ball goes. And this is by far the most reliable way to score. It took a little bit of time and practice, and when you do aim correctly, you're rewarded with more powerful shots and shots that go into the corners. However, the big thing here is that this isn't for everyone. It is a little bit of an advanced skill and takes some time to master. But if you are finding your shots are going straight at the keeper or wide when they should just go on target, precision shooting fixed this for me. The most reliable finishes I saw from pros were shots across the body, inside the 18-yard box, and finesse shots outside the box with players who have the finesse shot playstyle. If someone does have the Trivela playstyle though, they were scoring from crazy angles. So that's definitely one to keep an eye out for. On occasions, I would get 1v1 with the goalkeeper and not really know the most reliable way to finish. The pro players were just walking it past the goalkeeper every time. And they were doing this with controlled sprint. Holding R1, RB to just left stick away from the goalkeeper and see them fall down just worked every single time. So I practiced it and found one-on-ones the easiest they have ever been. There was no need to try and shoot past them. Just walking past them was so much easier. I wanted a few more ways to score, and set piece was the final bit of icing on the cake. 2 corner routines that I added into my game to score me goals were the player lock at the near post, which I touched on in a previous video, and then clicking the D-pad, telling the players to run far post, playing it short, and then crossing it to the back stick for some easy goals. And free kicks, well, a broken free kick right now is smashing it down the center of the ball and seeing that rocket fly into the back of the net. And being able to have set pieces in your locker just gave me so many times where I could get goals almost out of nothing. So certainly something to take a bit of time on. After learning all this, my attack has got so much better on FC 24, and in turn, it's helped me climb division rivals. If you click this video right here, we can help you do exactly that.